Okay, we're live now. Welcome to our first live streaming event. Um, Apparently, we've already had a mishap because I was live streaming, at least I thought I was, and I was not. So, after about 10 minutes, we finally figured out that I was not live streaming. So, I was just talking to myself. That's okay. That's okay. Um, so, today we're going to be talking about what is a budget. We're going to be talking about three different things that are included in a budget, including your income, your expenses, and your savings. And so we're going to be going over each one of those individually, as well as being talking about a zero-based budget and what that is, and then how to do that. And then at the very end, I have a little surprise for you. So stick around till the end. All right. So to start off, we're going to start off with income. So your income is any money coming into your bank, coming into your hand, whatever. This would be your paycheck. This could be your full-time job, your part-time job, any extra work you do, Uber, Lyft, anything, right? And so my husband's over here. What are you doing? Okay. Apparently, we don't know if it's going live or not. So I don't want to mess this up again, but I think it's going live this time. Yeah, we're fine. Okay. He was totally messing me up over here. Okay. I'm so sorry. Um, so yeah, so your income could be government assistance as well. It could be, yeah, your part-time, full-time job. It could be anything like that. The only thing it is not is your debt. I hear a lot of people talk about how they're using debt as their income because they need to rely on debt to pay the grocery bill, stuff like that. Debt is not an income because it is something that you still owe and you have to pay back. So I don't consider debt an income source. So with that in mind, then let's move on to the next one, which is expenses. So expenses wouldn't include your debt payoff, but it would also include other things. Obviously, it includes your house payment, it includes your utilities, it includes your grocery bill, and anything in between. You know, if you had to go to pet visit, if you have a doctor's visit, anything like that. It would all include that. And then the last thing is your savings. Savings is unique because when you're saving money for a sinking fund, an emergency fund, something like that, then you are saving that as if it's an expense. So it's coming out of your income. But when you're ready to use that money, then it becomes an income source all of a sudden because now you already have that money and now it's your almost like an income coming in. And so that's why savings is very unique when it comes to budget. And so budgeting really isn't that hard. It should be used for personal use just as much as business use because it just tells every dollar of your money where to go. You tell it where you're going to spend it before you even spend it. So that way you know if you are within your spending limits so that you don't have to rely on debt every single month. And so that's one of my biggest things. I think that the budget is the biggest thing that helped me stop living paycheck to paycheck because I wasn't paying attention to where my money was going. I wasn't looking at it afterwards and I wasn't looking at it beforehand. And once I started looking at it before I started spending it, I started realizing how bad off I was. And I started being able to make tweaks in places and just discipline myself to not go out to eat or to not go do something fun with my friends that I really wanted to do, but just was not in my budget. It was not in my income, basically. And so a zero-based budget basically is where you take your income, you minus your expenses, and then it should equal zero. And the reason why a zero-based budget is really, really good is because it helps you stop living paycheck to paycheck when you don't have to go into debt anymore because you're spending more than what your income's actually coming in. And so that's why a zero-based budget is the best thing to do. And so that is pretty much all I have, except for I do have that little surprise I told you about. I have made a template for both Excel and Google Sheets for you guys. So it is totally free. You can go to thebrokebudget.com to go download that. This will get you started on making a budget. It calculates things out for you so you can see that already without having to really do the math in your head or anything like that. Even if you're not great at math, calculator, that's what I use. I use a calculator all the time because I'm not great at doing math in my head, and that's just not who I am, but I do enjoy budgeting. And the only reason I enjoy it is because I've seen how much it's changed my life. And so I want to see that change your guys' life as well. So I'm providing that as a free resource for you at thebrokebudget.com so that you can get started right away with your zero-based budget. And if there's any money left over at the end of the month, always put it towards your financial goals, whatever that is, wherever stage you're in, whether that's paying off debt or putting money into emergency savings or into a sinking fund or putting it away for a kid's college, whatever stage you're at. Be sure to take any of your leftover money at the end of a month or at the end of a budget and you're like, okay, well, I have all this leftover money, put it towards that. And if you need to adjust it along the way, you need to adjust it throughout the month, that's fine. That's fine. I do that occasionally. I don't do it very frequently because I try to do everything correctly on the first of the month or at the end of the previous month. But if I there's like a doctor's visit or something that pops up, I tend to go back in and adjust that and based off of, and I just pull some of the money that I was going to use towards paying off debt or saving, and I just put it right there in the doctor's visit instead. So it's okay to do that. And then once you're done making your budget, you just want to check in with it either weekly or daily. I check in with mine daily so I'm in the habit of constantly looking at the budget so I know exactly where my money needs to go, as well as updating it with all the numbers of what I actually spent versus what I said I would spend, because a lot of times there's a difference between what you say you're going to do and what you actually do. And so you need to watch it and you need to be careful of it, because the first few months when you're doing this, it may be hard. It may be something that becomes like very difficult to be like, okay, well, I said I was only going to spend this much on groceries, but it turns out like I'm spending like twice as much, because most people do that with their first budget. They like underestimate the grocery category. So it takes a few months to get a handle on it, but once you do, it is so much better because you can start like living with intention with your money instead of it just, happening to you. Things just happen to you with an expense category. So it is very, very important. So that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.